Have you ever noticed something that appears a little oily when you change your air filter? Maybe you just bought a used car and wonder if there might be an issue under the hood. While engine oil in your air filter isn't always a bad thing, it may indicate a few possible issues. Let's take a closer look at them, but just before we start, please make sure you've subscribed to the channel. Clogged PCV valve. One of the first emissions controls was the positive crankcase ventilation valve, which reroutes blow-by back into the air intake rather than allowing it to contaminate the surrounding area. Like an oil filter, a PCV valve needs to be replaced from time to time. There must be somewhere for the crankcase's positive pressure to go. Blowing by through seals, gaps between gaskets, and any other small openings in the engine is possible if a PCV valve clogs. Another possibility is that the valve is stuck open, letting more oil than intended enter the intake. Aftermarket air filter. There are different reusable aftermarket air filters on the market. According to instructions, before using these parts, their exterior must be coated with an oily film. It's possible that you or a prior owner over-applied oil if you see it on the inside of the air filter. When cleaning and preparing a filter for use or reuse, adhere to the manufacturer's instructions. Worn piston rings. To maximize the force applied by the combustion of the air-fuel mixture in the combustion chamber, piston rings offer a seal between the piston and the cylinder wall. Your car will have more power the stronger the force. Piston rings can wear out over time as a result of high mileage, poor engine design, incorrect maintenance, or hard starting the engine before it has reached operating temperature. The quality of this seal deteriorates with age, so you may notice a gradual decrease in horsepower and an increase in blow-by as your car ages and its piston rings wear. You might notice more oil in the air filter housing, possibly extending to the air filter itself when the blow-by's volume starts to increase. You can check the pressure in each cylinder by performing a compression test to identify worn piston rings. All cylinders should have comparatively equal cylinder pressures, and the manufacturer's recommended range for cylinder pressures can be found in the factory handbook. An engine rebuild is necessary to replace worn piston rings. Clogged oil channels. Modern engine oil is good and dependable, but it doesn't last forever. Neglected or forgotten oil change intervals cause the old oil to solidify and turn into an unpleasant sludge. This engine sludge has the potential to clog the oil channels that are meant to keep the engine properly lubricated and the oil flowing through it in the intended manner. Blockages in these channels can lead to the accumulation of oil and sludge in parts of the engine that aren't supposed to have it, like the intake. If ignored for an extended length of time, this could result in a decrease in horsepower and fuel efficiency as well as complete engine failure. How to prevent? As your engine runs, air, fuel, and oil naturally slip past the piston rings, causing a buildup of pressure in the crankcase. We call this blow-by. Because the piston rings can't seal against the cylinder walls perfectly, some blow-by is normal. On the other hand, too much blow-by can lead to issues. A high amount of blow-by wastes part of each combustion cycle by venting the mixture into the crankcase and air intake, which lowers horsepower and fuel efficiency. If there's a tiny bit of oil in the air filter, think about installing an air oil separator or catch can in the car. By collecting or filtering the gases released from the crankcase, these devices may prolong the engine's life and provide you with a cleaner, smooth-running car. For a vehicle you intend to keep for a long time, catch cans and air oil separators offer great peace of mind and are generally fairly inexpensive and simple to install.